I'm Mark Cowley and Mr. Saltwater Tank coming to you on behalf of SaltwaterAquarium.com. Saltwater aquarium hobbyists are full of strong opinions. From fish to coral to lighting, you ask for an opinion, you're going to get it. But there's one thing that saltwater aquarium hobbyists can all agree on. To have a saltwater tank, you need at least two things: salt water and a tank to hold said water. Now, we don't need to worry about the salt water just yet because we don't even have a tank picked out. And to help you narrow down which nano tank is right for you, there's two main factors that you need to focus on. Factor number one, what livestock you're going to put in the tank. Now, this may seem counterintuitive. Why worry about what livestock you're going to put in the tank before you even have the tank and have any salt water? Well, the reason is because if you put the right livestock in the right saltwater tank, then that can make for a very easy and successful saltwater tank experience. You put in the wrong livestock in the wrong tank and you're going to create major headaches for yourself, especially with smaller tanks like in the Nano tank series. Now, before I show you what livestock is going to go in which tank, keep this important point in mind. Don't buy any livestock just yet. There are other concepts that you need to understand before your tank is ready for livestock. I'm showing you what livestock is going to go in which tank. That way you can go, oh, I like that fish or that set of livestock, therefore I need to get that size tank. I love that you're excited, but don't buy anything just yet. So, without further ado, here's what's going to go in each tank. The 5-gallon Fluval Evo is going to be an invertebrate tank only. A pair of fire shrimp, a brittle starfish, and some hermits and snails will go in that tank. The 10-gallon water box is getting a pair of nano bonded fish with an invertebrate. A flagtail pink bar goby pair with red banded pistol shrimp is going in there, along with a serpent starfish, snails, and hermits. The 16-gallon BioCube is getting a blue-green chromis and a pair of clowns. Finally, the Fluval Flex is getting a mimic saddle puffer or saddle valiente puffer depending on availability. A blue-green chromis, a pair of clowns, a Midas blenny, and an orchid dottyback are also going in that tank. Factor number two in the tank size purchase decision is location, location, location. Sure, you have to have the physical space for the tank, but that's only one small piece of deciding on where you're going to place your saltwater tank. A saltwater tank has to be supported by something, and that something is usually a stand. The 16-gallon BioCube and the 32.5-gallon Fluval Flex both have an optional stand that we recommend that you use. And we realize that some of you are handy enough to build your own stand, which is fine for you DIY types. If you don't like the stand that comes with the tank and you're not willing to build your own stand, you're very likely going to be placing the tank on a piece of furniture. Now keep this in mind, saltwater weighs about 8 pounds per gallon, so it doesn't take much for a saltwater tank to get pretty heavy. And you place the tank on a piece of furniture that's not that very well built, you're asking for trouble. Now with smaller tanks like the 6-gallon Fluval Evo, it's going to weigh about 60 pounds full. The 10-gallon water box, this tank's going to weigh about 100 pounds full. Most furniture can take that kind of weight, especially when you place the tank over in the corner as opposed to in the middle of the furniture. Now if you have any doubts about that, either shore up the furniture or get a stand made for the tank. With smaller tanks, you're likely okay. The bigger tanks, the 16-gallon BioCube, we're using the stand that comes with it, and certainly with the 32-gallon Flex, we're going to use the stand that comes with it as well. The 32-gallon Flex is going to weigh about 350 pounds plus, totally full. You don't want to be placing that on a piece of furniture. So as you're thinking about which tank you want, putting it on a stand or not can also dictate which tank you ultimately end up going with. Saltwater aquariums require electricity, so make sure your tank is going to be close to at least one electrical outlet. And while you're at it, it won't hurt to grab a surge protector as well. One tank placement factor that I see a lot of saltwater tank hobbyists miss is the factor of light shock. If you place the tank in a room that gets its lights turned on early in the morning or very late at night, then there's a high chance that you're going to light shock the fish. For example, here in the break room at SaltwaterAquarium.com, the lights get turned on in here about 6 a.m. If the lights aren't on in the fish tanks, we walk in here, turn on the room lights, all of a sudden the room goes from completely dark to completely bright, and that can light shock the fish. So as you're thinking about placing your tank, ideally put it in a room that doesn't get the lights turned on very early in the morning or very late at night. What about placing your saltwater tank next to a window? There's a common myth in the saltwater tank hobby that placing your tank next to a window is going to cause algae problems. And that's true if you have a poorly maintained saltwater aquarium. And in this video series, I'm going to show you how to properly maintain your saltwater tank so you don't have algae problems. So I don't have a concern about you placing your tank close to a window, assuming that that window is not south-facing or west-facing. A south-facing or west-facing window can put a lot of direct sunlight on your tank, which can potentially overheat your tank, especially with the smaller tanks like in the Nano tank series. So if you're thinking about placing your tank next to a window, I'm okay with it as long as that window is getting only indirect sunlight. Another big factor that I see people miss when it comes to placing their saltwater tank is putting it somewhere that you can see it. You got a saltwater tank because you want to enjoy the inhabitants inside the tank. So put it somewhere that you can actually enjoy it. For example, we've got the 5-gallon flue ball right next to here at Ken's desk. That way, as he's working away on orders, he can enjoy the tank. So don't put your tank somewhere where you're never going to see it or walk by it once a day. Put it somewhere where you can actually enjoy it. Here's where we placed our Nano tanks. The 5-gallon flue ball Evo is going to the front office next to Ken's desk, and yes, it's only getting indirect sunlight. The 10-gallon water box is going in my home office right across from my desk. The 16-gallon BioCube is going in a private office right by the door in prime viewing area. The 32.5-gallon flue ball Flex is going in SaltwaterAquarium.com studio for everyone to enjoy. Now that you've got your tank picked out, it's time for rock and sand. One of those things is optional, and I'll talk about that in the next episode. I'm Mark Callahan, Mr. Saltwater Tank, coming to you on behalf of SaltwaterAquarium.com. I'll catch you in the next episode. And to help you narrow down which Nano tank is right for you, there's two main factors that you need to focus on.
Are you done yet? I got orders to fill.